Hey everybody, for today we are going to be doing the dimmer switch meditation. As always, we want to remember that we are checking in with ourselves. If we start throwing ourselves into overwhelm, that is our cue to ease back and find something that is going to ground us a little bit better. Now, when it comes to this particular meditation, it is okay if we do not hear every instruction. It is okay if the mind wanders off. Just pick what you hear, pick what you can follow. Don't worry about the rest. Likewise, if we find that closing our eyes or trying to do any kind of imagery doesn't work for us for literally any reason, there are alternatives. So one of the things that we could do instead of closing our eyes and doing the imagery in this meditation, which is of a light that gets brighter and dimmer, we can literally find a light that we can make brighter and dimmer with quite literally a dimmer switch. And that could even be done somewhere on our phone, any kind of app where we can play with something going brighter and then dimmer. That is a wonderful alternative. So please remember, if something isn't working for you, it's not an indictment on the practice, it's not an indictment on yourselves, it just means we need something different. So if it's going to work for us today, we might take a moment to get settled in our seat. And I always say, give ourselves extra permission to kind of fidget around, readjust the clothes, whatever we need. Decide how you want to have your hands, how you want to have your legs. And then we can decide, does it feel okay today to take a breath in? And does it feel okay to take a breath out? And then we'll decide, would I like to have my eyes open right now? Or would I like to close my eyes? And we always want to remember, no is a valid answer. Now, if it's working for us today, we might take a moment just to find that breath. Does it feel okay to take a breath in? Does it feel okay to take a breath out? We might even find that's all we need today. Just a focus on noticing, can I take a breath in? Can I take a breath out? If it will work for us, I invite you to think of any kind of light. That might be an orb of light, the sun, a candle, a lamp. We decide. We even decide what color that light is, if we want it to be any particular color. And we might take a moment to remember that we are in control of how bright that light gets, and we are in control of how dim that light gets. And if at any point we feel like we are not in control, that might be our cue to ease away for a moment. But we might just take a moment with that, letting the light get a little brighter, letting the light get a little dimmer. Now we might stay with this. If it's working for us, I invite you to let the breath be part of this. Now maybe our inhales can be our reminder that the light gets brighter, and our exhales are a reminder that the light gets dimmer. We might prefer the reverse of that. The light brightening is our reminder to breathe in, and the light dimming is our reminder to breathe out. And we might do this for maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. Now we can stay with this. We don't have to go further if further is not going to work for us today. If it would work for us, I invite you to imagine any kind of dimmer switch. Now maybe it looks like a dial or a sliding switch. Maybe it has buttons. Maybe it's something on our phone or a remote control. We decide, what does that dimmer switch look like for you? And if we can, when we breathe in, can we imagine that we are dialing up the dimmer switch and the light got brighter? And on the exhale, we brought down the dimmer switch and the light got dimmer. Maybe that's working for us today. Maybe that next inhale, we're turning up the dimmer switch, the light got brighter. The exhale, we turn down the dimmer switch, the light got dimmer. we can stay with this. Some people like to add on something that's a little more tactile, something that we could do with our hands. Now, wherever our hands are, we can think about whatever that dial looks like for us, and maybe we can move our hands as if we are using that dimmer switch. So whether we find that we're moving our hands like we're literally turning a circular dial, sliding the dial up, pressing buttons, we decide. Just using our hands as if we have that dimmer switch in our hands. And if it's okay, we'll try this for a couple of breaths. Maybe on that next inhale, whenever it happens for you, we'll inhale and turn up the dimmer switch, the light got brighter. The exhale, we're turning down the dimmer switch and the light got dimmer. Again, this might be with our hands, it might not. If we're using our hands, we might even find that it's kind of like a reminder, or we can use it like a reminder. The way I turn my hand to dial up the dimmer switch is my reminder to breathe in and let the light get bright. And that feeling of my hand turning down the dimmer switch is my reminder to breathe out and to let the light go dimmer. Now, always mindful we do not have to count, but we'll do this for roughly 5 more breaths. Now maybe it does feel okay to find a breath in right now and find a breath out. We can find any relatively normal breathing pattern. Always mindful that the simple act of noticing our breath means that it's going to be a little different than our autopilot breath. Does it feel okay to take a moment and stretch out our fingers and let them relax? Maybe stretch out our toes and let them relax. Does it feel okay to eventually move our hands, maybe move our feet? And we might let our hands come to the heart in any way we want them to. Maybe we like to stack our hands or hold them or press our palms together in some way. Maybe we take a moment to think of a positive word. Any positive word, no right or wrong, just what resonates right now. And if it's constructive for us to do so, I invite you to notice and to hold that word in curiosity. If I repeat this word to myself, what is my response? Both in the mind, but can I notice if even a part of my body responds in a certain way? And if so, how? And this might get another breath in and another breath out. The strength and the hope that is within me recognizes and respects the strength and the hope that is within you. And I thank you for your time. And I thank you for your practice.